Yes, to my Facebook viewers, right? This is just a little insight on what we're doing again this year, what we intend to do. Because as I already stated, I'm not doing no more custom-made furniture because the custom-made furniture, the appreciation for custom-made furniture, as you can see, it is not to the highest in Trinidad, right? So I'll be more doing art furniture because you see, art, you will get more money, I guess. And I just do that, right? And we'll be putting videos, different videos, so that people could have an understanding of how furniture is built. And you can also, you yourself, if you have a project going on, so you get a better idea of how a piece of furniture is built, so you might not get, what you don't want to get at the end of the day. Alright, so we'll be doing that. And with the art come entertainment, so there's always some form of entertainment. And I am on the social media, and being on the social media, doing woodwork, even on my site I see videos come up, and when it comes up, at the bottom it's called share your thoughts. So I'm just going to share my thoughts about certain things that is right now in circle. Right, is the idea of the beating. Yes, the beating. And everybody have their 2 cents about how that beating went. I mean, there's a mother beating a child here. I mean, with a belt. Let us not forget that. Remember, the good book says, "Don't spoil the don't spare the rod and spoil the child." I mean, lots of us who are older than 50 grew up under that. It's just that we didn't have the internet, so we didn't see. Some of us knelt down on greater. Some of us, we get licks, and I saw people get worse licks than what I see there. That is an issue, right? But and then you have all these people who comes up and says, well, they should deal with it in a different way. And I say, all right. But they don't hear the story of the mother, so I'm going to give you an idea how it could go. Think about the mother. She is a single parent, and she goes to work from 8 in the morning. And she's doing everything to provide everything to even get the internet, so that the daughter has the internet to look at it. Right? And she tells her, I'm sure she must have been telling her what she don't want and what she don't want. But she has to leave 8 in the morning and she comes back in the night. Let's just say she's a single parent. I'm not saying that. But let's just say that it happens. And she's been talking to her daughter and telling her, here what's happening here, I don't want this for you, I don't want that for you. And giving her pointers. And telling her about what I don't want you to do. And comes home now and finds out that she'll be doing the opposite. Right? And she's doing the opposite to what the mother said. And the mother goes into a rage because you have to remember she's a single parent and she alone is working. And she's coming home 8 o'clock in the night. Because when she's done work, she has to take the taxi. I'm just drawing an example. Right? And she comes home and she sees that and she goes and she beats the girl and she beat her. Right? But here you have a bunch of people comes up now and they're saying how it should go and how it shouldn't go, and that isn't happening in that woman's house. You understand? You see, come up now and use this as an issue to talk and talk about all what's happening about the youth. But there are lots of things that you are forgetting that's happening about the youth, even on the same social media, even the people talking about the language. Because I know people name fuck you. That's the reality of things. And the most famous artists that we listen to, they use what is considered to be obscene language, and it's promoted 24/hours even on the airwaves. And it's promoted on the airwaves, and why it's promoted on the airwaves, all they do is you pause out the line so it comes full in the gaps. So the man, and you go on, but the idea is still the same. So that idea where people is arguing about the manner in which every time you come on Facebook, you see something that is obscene. Right? So the language is neither here nor there. The beating and all is neither here nor there. But think about it if she didn't find out. And she, after been working to see about these children, because she's alone, and she maybe didn't choose that, because nobody chose that, but she still, and she don't have time to look over everything, she comes and finds out that she beats her daughter. What is the problem with that? What is the problem with that? Some people have to learn how to think for themselves, because it could be the other way around. She could have seen her daughter in some form of porn. And these same people who stand up and telling her that, at the end of the day, when she's walking to the clinic with them, they're going to say, oh Lord, look, the mother is right there. You understand? Look, the mother is right there, but she was working from 8 to 8. That's why she didn't see about her children. Because nobody's helping her pay the rent. You have to forget that people live in these conditions in the society, and you're telling them how they're supposed to discipline their children in the comforts of yours. You understand? In the comforts of two helps. You see, people have to learn to think for themselves. You understand? You can't be told to think all the time or written in a book how the other man is supposed to function. You understand? You know, I can't see how this works. There's so much negative things on the internet, right? What is deemed negative in society because somebody else in some part of the world likes it, and it's there. We have no control over it. So that is a good to see that appear on there is beaten because lots of us kneel down and greater. We were pulled across the bench like that and give strokes, and we survive. Some of the beating that we got is what made us what we are today. In whatever, however high or however you are, because you know. It's a universal language. What do you think the security officer walks on with a baton? When he talks to you too much, he hits you with it. Sometimes he busts up your head and bang up your head, and the same people are saying that's what you're supposed to do. You have to remember these things. You have to remember that there are certain parts in certain societies. You can look it up on the internet. The officers move around with big sticks and they beat people. I mean, they're trying to they beat you with that. I mean, it's there and they're all there. They they whip you in a square for certain things. And we are seeing that. So the issue that people just going on and the way that how the woman beat, I get good licks and lots of us get licks. You understand? And that is something people have to understand. You can't run your house and run somebody's house because there are lots of things that you're supposed to speak about in society and you're not speaking about. Think about it on the airwaves, right? The airwaves, what form a thought. Think about it. At 6 o'clock in the evening, there is a program telling you what is the best sexual positions, and you have to remember at that time of the airwaves, all children are on it. What thought you think you're trying to create there? You see, people don't think. It is convenient for us to talk about certain people without knowing their situation, right? And I'm having this discussion in my group here with the people we discuss with. But I'm one of the people who go use the social media because people fighting. And we're sharing it. Men walking around all out, doing all kinds of things that do not. Remember, these are the things that are going to make the minds of the youth that are coming forward. You have to remember these things. And don't forget it. If you don't want the idea to go forward, then you don't leave the imagery. But the idea that you are prolonging the imagery and carrying it forward is the idea that you carry all these old ideas forward. You understand? So you see, people have to think. That's a good thing that woman do because it's something. I get good licks, spreads. I get licks and sometimes, and I never vex with my uncle, can I halls? You understand? Because at the end of the time while he was if he beat me for doing something wrong within myself, I know that was wrong. You understand? And at the end of the day, he made sure that I learned a trade. When I decided to leave school. You understand? And so that I could function. But I get licks. I even was told to stand up in church when I was falling asleep. But all that was part of what was to form somebody into the system that, you know, and certain disciplines that they had within you. Some kneel and greater, you forget. But they didn't have no social media. You understand? So the woman was right to do what she do. You understand? Because that is her child and she knows what she wants for her child. And the child themselves, because of that good beating, she might say, check herself. When she get older and she's successful in life, she'll remember. Because some people who mightn't get a beating, her mother might be able to look at back and say, that's why I was beating you, because I didn't want you to come out like that. In other words, I didn't want you to be living with some kind of terminal disease that you could have avoided if you were just wait. Because that is your natural function, but you have to wait because you are not ready for that as yet. That is the reality of things. You understand? These are the reality of things. You understand? So some people come up with the idea that is given to them by somebody else, who was written by somebody else, who did a survey of somebody else, to govern everybody's life. You understand? And that is something that should not be. You understand? Remember, I'm on the social media, say, share your thoughts. So that's what I'm doing. People share their thoughts. They dance, they fight. 20 years from now, I want to see how that is going to help us or not help us. That is the imagery of us, what we are doing. And we are doing a good job of it. Our ancestors did a good job of that. But we are doing a good job of it. And we have to think and not be told how to think by somebody else. Because what we are doing, things on the social media, is going to affect our children. Because people are going to use it against us. They are going to tell us, here what is happening. These were the images of your ancestors. This is what they were doing. They were dancing on their head, spinning on a pole while the rest of the world was going forward. How does that help the other youth, the other generation, build a thought in their head? Some of you are not thinking. You are being told how to think. In my group, we are not told how to think. We think for ourselves. It's just share your thoughts. It could be right or it could be wrong. But it's just a thought and there's another way to look at things. And me being a builder, I have a lot of ways to look at things. Because it's just like recreating furniture. You know? So my idea is whatever you put me in, I can recreate 1,000 times. Within the language. You know? Because I'm a builder, I take what is natural, a tree, you know, and cut it in a square. I can do that with an axe and create a piece of furniture. So my ability to think is very good. In other words, even if I see a man and he's not speaking, I can still learn something from him and he can learn something from me. Because always remember, language controls the way you think.